What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to make a video about the possibility of Battlefront 3 at some point in the future, and mostly what my dream launch for the game would be. Now, Battlefront 3 has been a somewhat touchy subject in the community lately. A lot of other channels have talked about it, and some of them have been a little bit more clickbaity. So I just want to make this clear, there is no confirmation at all for Battlefront 3. In fact, there really aren't even any rumours, so this video is 100% just speculation and I guess just my own personal wish list. None of this should be taken as fact, and none of this means that Battlefront 3 will be happening anytime soon. Now, if you guys do want to see more Battlefront 3 speculation or concept type videos like this one, then definitely let me know down in the comments. I definitely don't want to overdo it to the point where the channel is based on a game that doesn't exist, but I do have a lot of really good ideas for the game as well, so there are plenty of videos that I could make if you guys are interested. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get stuck into what I would absolutely love for the launch of Battlefront 3 if it does ever end up happening. Starting off with the reveal for the game, there's a heap of ideas I have that would be awesome to see, and I think these would instantly get the hype going within the community. We all know that regardless of what the game is or how good or bad the games are, DICE pretty much always nail their trailers. In my opinion, they make some of the best trailers in the entire gaming industry, and if they wanted to make Battlefront 3 a massive game with a huge player base, then obviously marketing is a very big part of that. A trailer similar to the Battlefront 2 gameplay trailer would be a great place to start, showing a good mix of gameplay as well as some cinematics, and there's one big idea that I have that I know personally I would lose my mind over, and I'm pretty sure most Star Wars fans would too. In that gameplay trailer, there was the iconic reveal of Darth Maul, where the troopers say sector clear before we see a spinning double-bladed lightsaber cut half of them down, revealing that Darth Maul will in fact be in the game. Now, I remember this sent the Battlefront community absolutely wild with celebrations. Getting a character like Maul revealed in such an awesome way just drove that hype right through the roof, and instantly they had me sold personally just from that clip alone. Now, my idea is that they would need to do something similar to that for Battlefront 3, instead revealing someone like Ahsoka or Mace Windu, for example, someone we didn't get in the second game that the community really wanted, as that once again would just be a huge selling point for the game. I know for me personally, if I was to see Ahsoka appear in that same kind of way that Maul did in a really high quality epic trailer, I would absolutely lose my shit, and like I said, I feel like 90% of the community would too. It would be such an awesome selling point, and if I'm honest, I think it'd almost be necessary, since what else are they going to add to the game to make it different from Battlefront 2? With Battlefront 2, they obviously sold it as the cross-era game that we all wanted, having the large majority of the main characters from the franchise from all the main eras of the game, and really there wasn't much missing in terms of the eras anyway. We had prequel, OT and sequel content, most of the main planets and most of the main heroes. Obviously there was a lot that they didn't add, such as Ahsoka and Ventress, Windu, Coruscant, Mustafar. There was definitely missing content, but what I mean is overall the majority of the main stuff we expected did make it to the game. To sell this game to the player base, they would definitely need to add some exciting content, whether it be Ahsoka showing Coruscant or Mustafar in the trailer, or hell, even having a bunch of stuff from the Mandalorian in there. They just absolutely need that extra stuff that we missed, otherwise it would feel like a complete carbon copy of the second game. Having Mando appear in the trailer would probably have that same effect too, so he could probably be a great choice for that big reveal, and obviously Mando is pretty relevant too, since there are obviously more seasons on the way, and they could add content as the show goes on, so that arguably could be a better selling point than Ahsoka in a way. Now, another thing that I've thought about, which I'm actually going to make a whole video on eventually as there's so much to talk about, but this is the fact that they could implement Legends into the next game if they wanted an even bigger selling point for the game. I know that with Disney Takeover they have pretty much ghosted Legends content for the most part, so this might seem pretty far-fetched to some of you, but if you have played Galaxy of Heroes, which is a Disney and EA title, that game has plenty of Legends characters in it, and they don't seem to be an issue with it there. So if it is doable for Galaxy of Heroes, I don't see why it couldn't be done for Battlefront 3 if it ever happened. It might obviously be hard for them to implement the Legends stuff into the campaign, since I imagine the campaign would be canon, but they could just simply leave the Legends stuff out of the campaign, keep that 100% canon, and then just add the Legends characters into multiplayer, because even though the settings and the characters in multiplayer are all canon, the battles themselves are not canon anyway, which was even mentioned multiple times by the dev team. Rey fighting Boba Fett on Naboo is obviously not canon, even though Battlefront 2 is 100% a canon Star Wars game, so it's really no different in my opinion, and I think adding Legends in there would be the biggest selling point that they could possibly go for, but like I said, I'll dive into that a lot more in a future video. Now, lastly, just in terms of the actual in-game selling points, there are a few that I would absolutely need for this game to have, for it to be considered an improvement on the last game. One, they would need to have crossplay enabled to keep the player base large enough even when the game is in its low points, because that really killed the love for Battlefront 2 a few times when there were just dry patches and we couldn't find lobbies of our favourite game modes. Yes, hackers on PC are a problem, so they could either only do crossplay between consoles, or they could just try and improve their anti-cheat system, which I think is needed anyway, so that's probably the best way to avoid it. Call of Duty Warzone is crossplay with over 70 million active players, and in my time playing that game, which is probably 4 or 5 times a week, I've come across maybe 4 or 5 hackers the entire time, and they get reported and banned very easily, so I think the hacker issue should be a relatively easy fix. 2, they absolutely need to add private matches back into the game. They were there in Battlefront 2015, and then when they weren't there in Battlefront 2, it was a very noticeable change within the community. Private matches makes it easier for friends to play together, which makes them more likely to stick around, not to mention the vast amount of reasons for YouTubers, such as making awesome cinematics, taking awesome captures and stuff like that, which is just more promotion for the game on YouTube, which would obviously lead to more and more players. At the end of the day, the initial reveal for the game would need to show a few things that would grab the attention of the player base and prove that this game would be bigger and better than the last one, and so these are just a few ideas of how they could do that and how I personally would love for them to do so. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. Like I said, if you do want more of these speculation slash concept slash wishlist type of videos for Battlefront 3, then let me know down in the comments. I'm not going to do too many since, like I said, I don't want to base the channel on something that doesn't exist, but I definitely have plenty more ideas for the game. Thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Crush them! Make them suffer!